It is the NFL draft, guys. Welcome in episode 115 as the NFL draft just took place, and this is what we are going to discuss today. Obviously, I don't think there's anything else that you guys want to hear from us right now. Then the NFL draft and the first round picks, guys. Welcome in. Um, there was a lot that happened. There's some guys that were taken. The wide receivers flew off the board. We'll get into that here in a little bit. The my Packers will talk about that as well. Who won the draft? Who looks like some some round one losers in my opinion. I'm going to give you who I think won the draft and who may have lost the draft. But all this is hearsay, right? A lot of sports talk is hearsay because these guys might turn out to be really good players. The good players might turn out to be really bad. It's just going to depend on the future and what happens. Sorry, I do have a fly flying around, and it's really annoying, but I haven't been able to catch him. Jeff was supposed to jump on with me this episode, but through some um, technical difficulties, he is not. So Craig might jump on with me when he gets back to his hotel. He has been out of town. We're doing some work for the job that we work at, and he is not at the hotel room, but he might jump on a little bit later. And there's a couple trades that happened in the NFL draft here that have been insane. Um, Probably made a lot of quarterbacks unhappy as it deals with two wide receivers. The wide receiver jumped off this map. The defensive from Georgia's defense, the whole defense of Georgia to win in the draft. They broke a record for having the most amount of defensive players taken in the first round in the NFL history. So kudos for them. Green Bay got two of them. Some other players went as well. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into it and give you the picks here. And my buddy Ryan Sims, if you're listening to this, buddy, I got to give you some credit. We had a fantastic episode on Monday pre-draft. Ryan Sims came on. This guy that is, first of all, he's all around great human being, but he loves the NFL draft. It is almost his Super Bowl, especially since his team, the Cowboys, don't make it there. Sorry, I had to throw a shot, Ryan. Ryan, all you Cowboy fans. All right, sorry about that. But let's get real. We had a good episode last on Monday, special episode, and he hit on these picks. He hit on some of these picks. I was really surprised. So yeah, I wasn't really surprised, but I was like, oh, okay, Ryan, there's a picky pick. There's a picky pick. There's a picky pick. So it was great to see that. And Ryan will be on our draft edition episodes probably from here on out. Um, Craig had some technical difficulties trying to get on the internet down in Austin to do a Thursday live edition show. So we do apologize for him not being on. But I'm sure you watched the draft. I'm sure you have your own opinions. But let's jump into it. The Jacksonville Jaguars take Trayvon Walker, defensive end from Georgia. They started off the bat with a defensive Georgia. And this guy's good. Now, we talked about it we talked about it on Monday. Ryan came on. He asked me the question: are you a tape guy that likes to watch tape and see these players play and know on tape that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, or are you an intangibles guy? There's some guys that haven't put it on paper or haven't put it on tape, but their intangibles are there. Their athletic abilities are outstanding, and they haven't put it on field yet, but they have the potential to get there. I'm a tape guy. I like to know for sure thing, and I think that kind of gives you a better option to go to know what you're picking. And Trayvon Walker is not the tape guy. Trayvon Walker is the freak athlete who has the potential to be good. I just think they passed up on Aiden Hutchinson, who I thought was going to go first. They passed up on Thibodeau from Oregon. So they took Trayvon Walker. We'll see how it pans out. I think he has the potential to be not as I wouldn't say bust. I would say not live up to expectations of a first round draft pick. But we'll see. And like I said, I'm gonna praise some of these picks. I'm gonna say I don't like some of these picks, and who knows? Only time will tell in the NFL draft whether these guys pan out or not. Um, This Sports Illustrated graded this a B minus. So not an A, not horrible, a B, a B minus, a good pick. Um, the Detroit Lions to go number 2, and they pick Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan, which I thought the Jaguars were going to take, but um, this guy has a lot of potential. He's a beast. I call what he looks like country strong, a guy that's going to be down there in the trenches, getting to the quarterback. He did that in Michigan. Um, he had 14 sacks, record high last year. His 3-cone drill was good. 20-yard shuttle was good. He has the physical traits and just a beast. I sucks that he's in my division. Aaron Rodgers, you better watch out because Aiden Hutchinson will be coming for you next year. We'll see how good he is. I'll get to see him twice a year. So I'll give you an update maybe on how good he is. This is an A plus from Sports Illustrated and an A plus from me. All right. We got the Houston Texans, which they need a little bit of everything because they're Houston Texans and they're not really good. But they took Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback out of LSU. And this is a guy, if you go back and listen to Monday, Ryan Sims said some team's going to reach on him, but he thinks he has the potential to be a huge bust because his freshman year, Derek Singletary Jr. played amazing, looked really good, and played great. But after that, he kind of fell off the last 2 years. So they're really kind of going off of their freshman tape and what he could be instead of what he has been the last couple of years. Um, this gets a grade B. I'm going to give it a grade C. And let me tell you why. Not that I think Derek Singletary is just a horrible pick. I'm going to give it a C because there was a better cornerback out there. There was a better guy on the field. And that is the guy who went next to the New York Jets at number 4, Ahmad Gardner, a.k.a. Sauce. Sauce Gardner, from cornerback from Cincinnati, is the better cornerback, not quarterback, cornerback here. So I think Houston should have gone with the obvious, in my opinion, it's pretty obvious, but they decided to go with Derek Stingley Jr. It gets a B. I give it a C. The Jets come out at number 4, and they pick the best cornerback in the league. This He's tall, he's fast, he's going to probably be a shutdown cornerback. He is the best cornerback, in my opinion, in this draft. The Jets got him. He's just a fantastic guy. He plays with a lot of confidence. And to be a good cornerback, you got to play with a lot of confidence. And I think he's going to be a shutdown corner for them. And this is a very good pickup for the Jets. I think fantastic. I think you guys should be out. That's just over the hill that you got this guy at number 4 because the Texans didn't take him. Grade A minus from Sports Illustrated. I'm going to give this an A plus. This is a no brainer. The New York Giants take Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end, Oregon. This is a guy that had a first-round draft pick. They thought he might have gone first, and Aiden Hutchinson kind of jumped him for those. This guy, 19 and a half sacks. He is a beast. He is a little bit smaller than Aiden is coming out of Michigan, but this is a guy that gets to the quarterback. He's fast. He's long. He's going to get to the quarterback and cause mayhem. The Giants, when they won their championships back in the day, it was on defense. They had Michael Strahan. They got to the quarterback. They pressured you, and Eli Manning had a couple amazing time throws and amazing catches to get the job done. They go with defense here. I like this pick for them. They said, look, we've heard rumors all week that the Cowboys are trying to move up to possibly get a falling Thibodeau. And the only reason that Thibodeau fell is not because his play. It's not because of some red flags or some off the field issue. It's because in his interviews, he seemed to be more down to business and his brand than most would like. So that could be an issue. You got a guy that comes in and is more about his brand than the team or playing football. Is he willing to put in the work and all that stuff? It does bring up a couple questions. Would I turn down his talent over that and drop him out of a top 5 pick. I do not. I would not. And the Giants got better here on defense. This is graded an A. I give it a grade A as well. I like the pick. Number 6, Carolina Panthers. We thought the first quarterback could go here, right? They need, maybe they're not going to stick with Sam Darnold. We don't know really what's going on with him. He has not worked out there. Mills has been linked to the Carolina Panthers, but they go with an offensive tackle, North Carolina State, Akeem Equanua, if I pronounce that right. I'm horrible at announcing names. Um, this is a big need for them. They've drafted a really good player and a need. If you can get both, you go with it. And they got a guy here that's going to protect sorry, I do have some breaking news here. Um, that the Packers have traded up. The Packers, sorry, round 2 is going on right now. The Packers have traded up to round to pick 34 and are hopefully going to draft a wide receiver. If this breaks, I'm going to um to have a. I want Sky Moore or Christian Watson. So sorry, sorry, got carried away. Yes, Packers do trade up, and we'll see who they pick here in a second. Sorry, I got carried away there. My buddy Ryan just texted me. So, but sorry, Carolina Panthers. That was bad podcasting by me. I'm just really interested to see what they do with their second round pick. Carolina Panthers, they get a need here, and they get a great player who will be able to help out this offensive line and hopefully protect their quarterback. And um, whoever that may be, Sam Darnold's not the guy. Do they pick someone this week in the draft that could potentially be their quarterback? I'm not sure, but they got a good offensive lineman. I'm going to give this a grade A, and it was graded A as well from Sports Illustrated. The New York Giants, number 7, Evan Neal, offensive lineman, Alabama, for sure fire pick, A plus plus. The Giants get another guy that is going to be on their line on the opposite side on on the offense, and the guy that's going to be able to protect the quarterback, whoever that may be. They didn't pick up the fifth round option on their quarterback, so we'll see what they do there eventually. But they got a guy that's going to protect whoever the quarterback is. This is a guy that's going to be there 10 years. Fantastic pick for them. Giants, great pick so far for the team. Great pick for New York Jets. Number 8, Atlanta Falcons take Drake London, wide receiver, USC. This is a guy I wanted in Green Bay. I knew it wasn't going to happen. Did I have him going in the top 10? I did not. I did not see that going on. But this is a guy, when you watch him play, he's a dog. He gets the ball. You throw the ball up in the air, may not be the best thrown football, but he's going to go up and make sure he comes down with it. He had over 1,000 yards last season. Just a fantastic wide receiver. I think he's going to come in here to Atlanta, add another weapon to them. They're going to miss Calvin Ridley this next season for his poor decision making and betting on games. But this adds a weapon. They got a tight end. Now they just need a quarterback. Marcus Mariota, we're going to see if he can revive his career here in Atlanta. I don't think so. But they got futures for whenever they get a quarterback, because you're not winning this league without a quarterback. A B plus here given by Atlanta. And I'm going to give it probably a B plus or A minus, just because their biggest question mark with this team is quarterback. It is a good pick. This guy will be a good wide receiver, in my opinion. But I didn't think he was going to go in the top 10, and I did not think Atlanta was going to take him. Seattle Seahawks take Charles Cross, offensive line, Mississippi State. Good pick here. I give this an A. Guy is great. Now, my question for Seattle is, you didn't protect Russell Wilson, and you get rid of Russell Wilson, and you draft an offensive lineman that is going to come in and protect Russell Wilson. Or not Russell Wilson. Protect whoever your quarterback is. Still don't know. But why did you not do this when Russell Wilson was there? That's the question mark I'm asked. That's the question I'm asking the front office if I'm a Seattle fan. B plus for this grade as well. New York Jets are back on the clock at number 10. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State. Great pick. This guy he had two guys on his team. He had Garrett Wilson and he had Olave, and he more than likely he outdueled. He was the best of the two wide receivers by far, hands down. Now, Chris Olave is great as well and fantastic. Better receiver there over Chris Olave, but they were both very good. And the New York Jets killed it with this pick. I love this pick as well. I give it an A. They graded it A minus, but this is a guy they're going to give some help to that quarterback, and he needs it. He needs it up there in New York. We're going to see if this team can turn it around. Maybe a second year there with Zach Wilson will make it. Will make it better. Maybe he'll play a little bit better, but I like this pick for the New York Jets. The New Orleans Saints move up and get Chris Olave. The wide receivers are going off the board real quick. Chris Olave, the second best wide receiver at Ohio State, but a solid guy. He's a guy I think could be the best. It could be the most solid, consistent wide receiver coming out of this draft. I really like him. He had a guy there that could have fell through the cracks with a better wide receiver as a teammate, but he stood out so much that he went right behind his buddy and teammate. So he'll go to the New Orleans Saints. This is a B minus for them. That they illustrated. I'm going to give this an A. I like this pick. The Saints just have to figure out who the quarterback is, and that's a big hole that they just got to figure that out. The Lions move up. They trade back up and get potentially the best wide receiver in the draft. This guy, Jamison Williamson, wide receiver, Alabama. And the reason he fell is because of the injury he sustained in the championship game. He tore his ACL. He's going to miss some time this season, but this has the potential to be the best wide receiver in the draft. So they got him at 12. I'm going to give this an A. They gave it a B here. They're taking a risk, but I like that risk for them. Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock at number 13. They take Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, Georgia, a guy to get to the quarterback. Physical. They like those guys on the defensive line there that could get to the quarterback and play physical. This guy's going to do that for them. Great pickup here. Sports Illustrated, it got a B. I'm going to give it a B plus. I like the move here from Philly, adding to the defense and then playing that dirty style of physical play that the Philadelphia Eagles play. At number 14, the Baltimore Ravens take Kyle Hamilton, a safety from Notre Dame. Now, if you listen to the podcast Monday, Ryan Sims said this guy has potential to be a big bust. And I have no clue on if he's going to be a bust. I think Notre Dame's overrated in general. I'm not going to be very high on Kyle Hamilton. We'll see. The Ravens do pick good defensive players. They're really good for that. So we'll see. We'll see. They went A plus here on Sports Illustrated because Kyle Hamilton was highly rated on a lot of players, a lot of people's boards. So to get him at 14 would be a steal if he's fans out to be who they say he is. I'm going to go with a B on this one and see what he does. Houston Texans come in and they set on number 15, Kenyon Green, offensive lineman, Texas A&M, a great offense, a good offensive lineman is going to help this team. But it's the Houston Texans. They're going to be bad. This is graded a C. I'm going to grade it a B. They need some help there. Washington at 16. The Washington Commanders, they take Jonna Dotson, Penn State wide receiver. I like this guy. Um, he had 91 catches last year, 1,182 yards, 12 touchdowns. He he's really good. He's good. Is he amazing? No, but I think this guy for Penn State he was pretty amazing. But in the NFL, I think he's going to be good. Amazing, I'm not sure. But they do have Terry McLaurin, and adding these two together makes this could be a deadly duo, right? Adding these two together, you got to have so hopefully Carson Wentz can stay healthy and put his career back together there. This is his last stop there. If not, in my opinion, his ability to catch the ball after his ability to run routes and his ability to play in any position on the field is very versatile wide receiver. I like him. I thought Green Bay might have got him if he fell. He was actually supposed to be the 28th ranked player overall. They graded this a C. I'm going to grade a B minus. I think the pairing with McLaurin could make him a little bit better as long as Wentz is decent. Number 17, the Chargers take Zion Johnson, offensive guard from Boston College. They rate this a B. I'm going to rate this an A. This is a good guard, a good player. This is going to help protect their franchise quarterback, get this team going this season. They have a lot of high hopes there with Justin Herbert and this defense and this offense and their coach. So good pick, safe pick for the Chargers. Tennessee Titans. Now, they traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles. The Titans replaced him with Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas. Treylon Burks is a guy that could do a little bit of everything. In Arkansas, did a little bit of everything. He was kind of like a Debo Samuel. He played out of the back. He played end rounds. He did everything. He played wide receiver, everything. He did a lot of stuff for them. He had 14 carries. He caught 66 receptions. He had 12 touchdowns. This guy could do a little bit of everything. I think they'll be able to use that a lot there in Tennessee. I like this get. I like them trading away A.J. Brown, your best wide receiver? I do not. And I'll get into that a little more here going forward here after this. But I don't like them trading away A.J. Brown. But this is a good get for them. This is the guy that Aaron Rodgers wanted to get. New Orleans, number 19, they get Trevor Penning, an offensive tackle out of Northern Iowa. Good pickup for them to protect the quarterback that we have no clue if it's going to work out there and for them at QB. But this is a guy that's going to be able to step in and give him protection. Obviously, that's his job. They graded a B plus. I'll stick with a B plus here. I got this one right. Me and Ryan got this one right. Kenny Pickett goes to the Steelers at number 20. I figured they wouldn't pass up on a quarterback. This guy, to me, is the most NFL ready quarterback in the draft. He is more of a pocket passer than Mills is. So I'm not sure about this pick. He will come in and he will fight for the first. I'm not sure. We'll have to see here. Um, he's going to fight Mitchell Trubisky. Do I think he starts the season? Kenny Pickett, I would say no. He's got a good arm. His decision making can be questionable at times, but I think Pittsburgh, this is a good fit for them, and I thought, with Pittsburgh, they can make it work with a good solid defense, good coaching as well, like they have there in Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go B on this. They did a B minus. Kansas City at 21 went Trent McDuffie, cornerback out of Washington, to help that defensive backfield. I like this pick for them. They get an A from me. Oh, the Packers 22. My Green Bay Packers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're thinking here. They went with Quay Walker, a linebacker out of Georgia. I'm not saying Quay Walker is a bad linebacker. I'm just saying we reached for him here. There was two other linebackers I would have rather had in Green Bay if you're going linebacker than Quay Walker. One is his teammate, the Kobe Dean, splash player, smaller, but this guy was all over the field. Quay Walker, It's a good tape. Good tackler. It looks like he's able to tackle, um, read the defense pretty well, and read the holes the running backs going to go through from the tape I've seen. He seems pretty good, but there was better linebackers on the board. Floyd out of Utah, I think would have been better. Nakobe Dean, but we go with Quay Walker, 22. I'm gonna give this a C. They get a C from me, and they get a C from Sports Illustrated here. Number 23, Buffalo Bills. They get cornerback out of Florida, Elam. Help out that defense. They do need some defensive help there. They get this a great B plus. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Dallas Cowboys here take Tyler Smith, offensive line Tulsa. Now, this is a big question mark on some. Ryan says it's a solid pick, but he doesn't love it or he's not in love with it. And the offensive line's never that sexy pick, right? It's never that, oh my gosh, look at the player we got. But offensive line is very important. Unless your name is Joe Burrow, then you don't need one and you can just go out there and go to the Super Bowl. But he has the potential to be a very good pick, a very good player. We'll see. They just got rid of Collins or Connor Williams because of the penalties, and they drafted this guy who is the most holding penalties in the college and NCAA football. So we'll see. We'll see if they can coach that out of him. We'll see or not. This actually gets a C plus. I'm gonna give it a C. I'll go from there. I'm not in love with this pick for them. They did need to shore up that offensive line. The other players they wanted were off the board, so they went with somebody else. That worked out for them last year. They wanted Sutton, they wanted a cornerback. Those fell off the board, so they decided to go with Parsons, and it worked out. So maybe it'll work out for them again. Maybe it won't. Baltimore Ravens at 25. Tyler Lindenbaum, offensive line, Iowa. He was a center, the best center in the draft. This is one of those ones that maybe the Cowboys should have took this guy. They get an A from me, and they get an A from Sports Illustrated. He is going to be a beast for Baltimore. They're going to be doing a lot more running since they traded away Hollywood Brown, but we'll get into that in a little bit. New York Jets are back on the clock. They take Jermaine Johnson, the linebacker out of Florida State. This is a good deal. They got him. It says right here they got him. This is a steal pick. I'm not sure if it's steal pick. Just a good pick. This guy was flying all over the field. He had 17 and a half tackles for a loss and 11 and a half sacks. This guy was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. They get an A plus here from Sports Illustrated. I'm going to give it an A. This guy seems like why didn't Green Bay take this guy, Jermaine Johnson? Why did they take Walker? Another one of those. Devin Lloyd goes to the linebacker or goes to the Jaguars. He's a linebacker in Utah. Another guy, really good, really smart defensive player, going to tackle, get to the quarterback, going to cover those holes up. 22 tackles for loss. He had 110 tackles by himself, 8 sacks, 4 interceptions. This guy gets a little bit of everything done. A plus here for me. They get an A from the Sports Illustrated. Now, Green Bay is back on the clock at 28. Now, I was having 2 first-round picks here. We picked Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle, Georgia, and this is exactly who Ryan Sims said would happen. Said we would get this guy because he would fall due to some red flag issues off the field. We get him. They graded a B. I'm going to grade it a B plus. I like this pick. We need some help on the defensive line for Kenny Clark there, the highest paid nose tackle. This guy's going to come on and be able to play next to him and actually be a force. This is something we need. I like this draft pick from the Green Bay Packers. The New England Patriots pick Cole Strange, offensive line out of Chattanooga. This is a D minus for me. This guy was projected to go in the 3rd or 4th round. The New England Patriots, for some reason, decided to take him the 29th pick in the 1st. No idea. Kansas City Chiefs sure up the defensive end position for the George. I can't even say his last name. Karlaftis out of Purdue. This guy gets the quarterback. He's going to help this defense slow down some of those quarterbacks in their division. B plus from Sports Illustrated. I give this an A minus. Cincinnati Bengals, Daxton Hill, linebacker out of Michigan. A good pickup. This is going to help out that defense for sure up that linebacker position. The physical player. His cone drill was fantastic. 20-yard shuffle. Really good player. B. I'm going to give him a B. This is something that helps out that defense. They've helped out that offensive line of the free agency this year. Maybe they start doing a cornerback in the draft going forward. We'll see. Minnesota Vikings. They get Lewis Sign, linebacker out of Georgia. He's a really good athlete. His 4.3 40 dash time, his 11.1 broad jump. A good out linebacker there to shore up the defensive position for the Minnesota Vikings. They've always had pretty good defenses or pretty good linebackers in their defense. Now, let me jump on here real quick. Because the second round's going on. And I want to jump on here and see what's going on. What is happening? Who's on the clock? Let's see. On the clock is the Chicago Bears. Trying to get on my computer here. I'll keep trying to look for that. Kobe Dean still on the board. That's insane to me. Sky Moore is the best fit, they say. All right, so here's the second round draft. The Packers do trade up and they take Christian Watson out of North Dakota State. I was fine with getting Christian Watson or Sky Moore. I like Sky Moore better. But Christian Watson to me is going to fit Green Bay better, I believe. He's taller, and that's going to allow us to play him outside. Sky Moore is a quicker, more fast wide receiver that's going to play slot. We don't need a slot guy. We got Amari Rodgers for that last year. Christian Watson gives us a guy on the outside. I believe that's why we took him over Sky Moore. Roger McCreary from Auburn goes to the Tennessee Titans. Breece Hall from Iowa State, running back, goes to the Jets. Jalen Petrie, Baylor, safety, he goes to Houston. And Arnold Ebiketie, Penn State defensive end, to the Atlanta Falcons. So those are your second round draft picks right now. Let me jump back into this real quick. So there were some trades last night. Some big time trades. Some trades that no one expected to see. Sorry, I took a drink. You had wide receiver galore going into the draft. These wide receivers went quick. They went fast. You had wide receivers being traded, veteran wide receivers being traded. So let's look at this one. The Ravens trade away Hollywood Brown to the Arizona Cardinals for number 23 pick. A late first round pick. Traded away their best wide receiver. I'm not including their tight end because their tight end, Andrews, is probably their best wide receiver as well, but their best actual wide receiver. Now, this is crazy to me. Lamar Jackson needs all the help he can get. I think he's a little overrated. Sorry, Amber. I got a friend of mine who's a Ravens fan and really loves him, but I think he's a little overrated. He needs all the help he can get. They trade away their best wide receiver. I don't understand it. Now, rumor is that he came out and said, I want out of here. I demand a trade. And they traded him. Is Marquise Brown a type of guy that I thought had the what's the word I'm looking for? Had the veteran um had that time put in to where he could demand a trade, right? Like a guy that's been there 2 or 3 years comes out and says, "Hey, I want to trade." Well, do they have to listen? Are you going to sit out? What's going on with that? I don't know. But they demanded a trade. Maybe he wasn't happy uh, with how many balls that Lamar Jackson wasn't throwing him. Maybe he wasn't happy um, with Andrews always getting the football. I don't know. He wasn't happy there. He asked out. They gave him his trade. Now he goes to Arizona, which his quarterback and him played together in college. So Kyle Murray in Oklahoma and Hollywood Brown. Now, that's the second time we've seen that this season. Devontae Adams left the best quarterback in the NFL to go play with Derek Carr because they played together in college. This is number two. This guy wants out. I don't know if he demanded a trade to Arizona, but he demanded a trade. They trade him to Arizona. Murray's super excited. Lamar Jackson tweeted and said, WTF. He wasn't very happy, which I don't blame him. You just traded away his best weapon. Makes no sense for them. And then do they go in the draft and replace him? No, they don't. They don't replace him. They go defense, which is fine. But when you just trade away your best wide receiver, it makes us scratch our heads. Another one that's head scratching. The Tennessee Titans. They trade away A.J. Brown to the Eagles for the number 18th pick and the number 101 pick in the draft. Now, the Eagles got a great wide receiver. They gave him a $100 million 4-year, $100 million extension right away. He's a great player. I think he will thrive. Well, he could thrive there. It all depends on what you think of Jalen Hurts. I don't think Jalen Hurts is the guy. I don't think he's good at all. Tannehill has played good. I'm not a big believer in Tannehill either. But is he better than Jalen Hurts? Yes, in my opinion. So we'll see. But A.J. Brown going there with Devontae Smith, they added last season. This is a scary offense, wide receiver group. If they got a quarterback that can get him the ball, well, it's all going to depend on Jalen Hurts. And if you believe he's that guy or not. But I'm like, Tennessee, you just got rid of your best wide receiver. We know you like to run the ball, obviously, with Derrick Henry running in the backfield. Tannehill's going to take a hit with A.J. Brown leaving. At least, though, they go in the draft and they get Burks from Arkansas, who can be a wide receiver, who can make those plays. Is he going to be A.J. Brown day one? I don't think so, obviously. But they can use him. They can use him in the backfield packages as well. They can use him like Deebo Samuel gets used when out in San Francisco. I'm surprised we didn't see him get traded somewhere. But A.J. Brown of the Eagles, and the Eagles got better with the offensive weapons they just got. So crazy draft picks for crazy trades. Insane. I never saw that coming. No one saw it coming. All right, guys, I'm going to give you my top 3 winners and my top 3 losers of the first round draft, of the last night's first round draft pick. And that doesn't mean the whole draft's a bust. I'm just saying in the first round. So, my winners. I got the Jets. The New York Jets is my number 1 winner from the first round. They got Sauce Gardner, the best cornerback in the draft, to help shore up that defense. Revis 2.0, maybe a little early to say that, but Revis Island, we're going to have out there on Sauce Island, whatever you want to call it. I think he's going to be great for them. Then they go out and they get a great wide receiver from Ohio State, Wilson. Great, solid wide receiver, going to come in day one, help this offense out, give some confidence, hopefully, to your quarterback, Zach Wilson, because I believe his confidence was busted last year. We'll see if he can be better this season. He's got to stop turning over the football. They got to be more consistent with protecting him. They've got to run the ball as well, get a solid, steady running game going, and see what Wilson can do out of that. But they added that guy as well, and then they go and they add a solid pass rusher, Jermaine Johnson. These are three solid guys who are going to step in day one, and help out a team that has a lot of needs. And they've added some talent over the offseason. They've brought in a lot of free agencies. This team is starting to look pretty good. Now they got to put it on the field. Paper, you can look good on paper all you want, but you have to put it on the field. That's the most important thing. That's what matters. Number 2, the New York Giants. Yes, the New York Giants. And I'm looking at this going, I've killed the New York Giants for drafting and the way they draft and their ownership, and their team has been a joke for a long time. Can't even I don't even know how their fans watch their team. They're non-competitive. But they go out and they get Thibodeau out of Oregon. And this team, when they were winning because of their defense. Getting to the quarterback, forcing bad passes, stopping the run, putting pressure on the quarterback. They get this guy out of Oregon who fell because he seemed to be more business than interviews, and that's why he fell. Dumb reason, in my opinion, but they were able to do that. And then they were able to go out and shore up the O-line with Evan O'Neal, who is a surefire offensive lineman that will come in and help his team for a decade. Now, both these guys at one point were considered to be number 1 draft picks, like number 1, and they got both of them. So it's fantastic draft from them. My number 3, and this might surprise you, okay? My number 3, I really like what Detroit did. I really like what they did in the first round. They added Aiden Hutchinson. Now, when you're up there, you're going to get a great player. I believe this guy's going to be good. Amazing, great, elite. I don't know. We're going to have to see it. We're going to have to see it. But he has potential to be elite, and he looks like he's going to be great. That country strong type of mentality, moving in the trenches. I really like what they did. They got the best pass rusher in college. Then they move back up to number 12 and get Jameis Wilson or Williams, wide receiver Alabama, who's arguably the best wide receiver in the draft until he tore his ACL in the championship game. And that's the reason he fell. If not, he's going to be the number 1 drafted wide receiver. So they did take a little bit of a gamble here, because sometimes people don't come back from that. Sometimes it's a mental thing. Sometimes they're not the same player when they're cutting and making those moves. But this guy is a beast when healthy, a beast. I do like what Detroit did. Am I scared they're going to go win the division? No, but I do think they're headed in the right division there in Detroit. The 3 losers of the NFL draft. My number 1 is the New England Patriots. And this is of the first round. My bad. The first round. The New England Patriots. They drafted offensive lineman Cole Strange, who was projected to go in the 3rd or 4th round. And they picked him number 1. They picked him in the first round. Makes you scratch your head. What is Bill Belichick doing? What does Bill Belichick see that scouts did? Multiple scouts did. Maybe it turns out to be a great offensive lineman. Maybe that's the genius of Bill Belichick, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and find out. It's a horrible pick. Number 2, my Green Bay Packers. I'm going to throw you out there because you failed to get a wide receiver in the first round, and I don't blame you for reaching and taking one, but a lot of teams are moving up to get a guy that's going to come in day 1 and make a difference. And we didn't do that. That's where I'm going to give you a little knock here, because other teams moved up and got playmakers. We couldn't get that job done. I'm glad they didn't pick a guy at number 22, wide receiver, just because he's a wide receiver, and reach for him. But then you go out and you reach on Quay Walker at number 22, who was projected to go in the 40s, and you get him at number 22. So maybe they're seeing something I'm not. You had guys, other linebackers, his partner in crime at Ohio State, Nakobe Dean, looks better. Devin Lloyd from Utah looks better. My only thing is why we might have took Walker over them, and this is my only thing I'm going to think about, is he's pretty good at pass protection. And he's a little bit taller, so maybe we need a guy to pass protect linebacker. But This one I had questioned. And number three, I'm going to give the Dallas Cowboys. I've heard all week how they wanted certain guys. Now, Ryan Sims said this is the guy they're going to get. So Ryan Sims is not giving them a failing grade. But this is a guy that's some had going in the third round. Some guys think he's raw and has a lot. Is he going to start day one? I don't know. This is a guy that has trouble holding. They just got rid of a guy because he could. Well, I don't know if they wanted to pay him, but because he held all the time. This guy was the most penalized lineman in college football. So they were making jokes that he basically got rid of Collins and got him right back with this guy because he holds the ball a lot, or he holds a lot. They say though he has the potential. His upside has the potential to be one of the best in the draft picks. So if that works out, it's definitely a steal. But it's taking first round picks with question marks on how good they're going to be is tough. Now, there's only like 14, 15 players that actually have a first round grade. So after you get out of the top 15, it depends on where you have them. But it just all depends. I have Mel Kiper's round one winners and head scratchers. So number one, he said that one was the New York Jets. Just for the reasons I just kind of point out. Ahmad Garner, great. Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, three solid, could be star players, all three of them. New Orleans Saints, he has as winners, Chris Olave, Trevor Penning. They traded up. They got the guys that they wanted. Green Bay didn't trade up to get a wide receiver. They did. They took the guy we were kind of linked to. So that's going to help out their offensive line. That wide receiver, Chris Olave, is going to help out their offense and figure that out. He has the New York Giants, Thibodeau and Evan O'Neal. Fantastic. Should be no doubters in the draft. He has the Baltimore Ravens, and this is the reason he has the Baltimore Ravens. Well, they do get a really good center. Everyone was so high on Kyle Hamilton that he was projected to go in the top, like the number 4th pick. So they got him at number 14. So they're saying, oh, wow, this is such a good pick because it's such good value. They're winners. I'm not going to give the Baltimore, I'm not going to say they won. I don't like what they did. I like the offensive line center they picked up. Great, fantastic. You traded away your best wide receiver. Your offense got worse. You got a quarterback who has his biggest question marks throwing the football. Who are you going to throw the ball to? You go out and get a safety. So you've shored up your defense with safety. If he's good, Ryan Sims came on Monday and said he has the potential to be a big bust in this draft. I'm not hyped on Notre Dame. I think everything they do is pretty much hyped, overhyped. So we'll see what happens. He has Detroit winning this because of Hutchinson and the quarterback. But like I told you, I like them because of those two picks, getting two potential stars. And they are taking a little bit of a risk with the injury with the wide receiver. But he seems to be, when healthy, is going to be really, really good. The head scratching moves Jacksonville for the number one spot. They took a guy that, like we said, Trayvon Walker was a guy that has the physical attributes, but not really put it on tape. And Green Bay did this with Rashawn Gary a couple years ago. We drafted Rashawn Gary, and I didn't even know who the guy was. He was the number one top prospect coming out of high school. When he went on to college, he didn't do much. He got double teamed a lot, didn't allow him to do much. People were kind of head scratching. And I said, well, you got to give this guy time, and you got to give these players time. Okay, I think that's that a lot of people think they make these mistakes is that they want these guys to be ready day one, game two, and it's not going to work. You got to give these guys time before you say, hey, they're a bust. You're going to be quicker on guys who have a higher draft pick, like a number one pick, or a quarterback, especially with a first round grade, or you're going to be quicker to judge them than you are others. But this guy for being in the first round pick. He has potential to be a really big bust because they say they took this guy not on the tape. Not this wasn't the for surefire first round pick. A lot of people have Aiden Hutchinson going. Some people had Thibodeau going. Thibodeau kind of fell a little bit though. So we'll see what happens with him and Trayvon Walker down there in Jacksonville. New England Patriots, they talked about, obviously this guy that I just named out was projected to go in the third round. In fourth round, they picked him number 1. So just crazy. He also calls out the Detroit moving up to get Jamison Williams. I like this pick. I think if he didn't tear the ACL, he would have been the number 1 wide receiver off the board. So they could potentially, it's a risk, but they get their wide receiver to help out this offense. He also calls out Green Bay for Corey Walker. Doesn't like it because those guys, because of those guys that I named before, that could have been that better fit or not a better fit, just better athletes than Kobe Dean, Lloyd from Utah. So we'll have to see. Hopefully, I'm wrong. There's some people that like this pick in Walker, and he kills Green Bay for picking Wyatt, a nice player, and not taking Christian Watson. If they took Christian Watson at 28, they could have taken him there, but we got both. We added Christian Watson in the second round pick. We moved up and got him, and we're able to do that. So we will see how those pan out. The second round's kicked off already. Like I told you, the Packers drafted Christian Watson. I'm excited about that pick. I said, if we can get Christian Watson or Sky Moore, I will be happy with the second round. We got Christian Watson. I think it's a better fit for us than Sky Moore, but I'll have to go look at the tape and see which one I think is better. I think Sky Moore is actually probably better, but I think Christian Watson fits our scheme and fits our team better, especially since we just drafted Amari Rodgers, and he seems like he's not going to be the guy that we thought he was right off the bat, but we'll see. Look, there's no question that Green Bay's got a lot of questions at the wide receiver group, and people are going to kill Green Bay for not getting a wide receiver. I'm not killing Green Bay for not getting a wide receiver at 22 or 28 because there wasn't a guy there that I would have taken that, at 22 or 28. We were a lot of mock drafts had us at Chris Olave. Well, he went number 9 or 10 because these wide receivers went off the board. This is a wide receiver group and wide receiver trades. Brown, if your name was Brown yesterday and you were a wide receiver, you were getting traded. Okay. It just seems like that's the way it was. And my biggest question mark is why? Do they not want to pay these guys? Do they not want to pay these contracts? Because the wide receiver market has bloomed up out of nowhere this offseason. Just crazy, insane. 8 or 10 million a year added pretty much. Mari Cooper was at 20. Hopkins maybe at 22, but then you have guys, Devontae Adams, 28.5, Tyreek Hill, 30. And it's just like, my goodness, how are we going to be able to put a team together if we got to pay our quarterback $50 million and we got to pay our star wide receiver $30 million and we got to pay our cornerback $25 million? It's getting crazy, guys. It's getting outrageous for these GMs and stuff to put a team together. It's insane. But we got some things booming here, guys. All right, this is the draft. First of all, watch your team, see who your guys draft. We've got a lot of things in action for this podcast. I'm excited for Jeff to come on here and we can discuss these things that we plan on going forward with. And I've been getting into some more podcasts as well here. I'll jump into that in a minute. But we got some exciting things, some exciting news coming. Craig will be on with me on Tuesday. We'll get back to the normal schedule this week. And then Jeff, hopefully next Friday. Craig might do some solo shows. I'm going to give him some free will when he wants to come on here and kind of throw off some stuff, different things. We had, he will be back all this weekend or of the weekend on Sunday, and we'll get back on Tuesday and do our normal show here. And our normal show is Tuesdays and Fridays. We do some special episodes during like we did with the draft. Monday I had Ryan on, draft guru here. Um, come on and help out with the draft. We were supposed to have a live stream Thursday night for the first round. Didn't go as planned, but I'm on here today. Jeff will be back next Friday. Hopefully, he had some technical difficulties. But my locker this week. All right. What's in my locker? I'm so glad you asked. My locker this week. Just been busy with work. I am off this weekend. I got some things I got to get done around the house. I cleaned out the garage sale a little bit. Got to get that settled up. I got a man cave. I got a free lazy boy recliner that someone was giving away to go in the man cave. I asked the other day on our Facebook page in my neighborhood, does anybody want to sell me a TV or give one away? Well, I had a lady give me a 55-inch TV for free. So kudos to her. Thank you so much. Shout out to you for helping out the man cave to get that TV in there. And I have the only thing it didn't come with was the power cord. She lost power cord. So I ordered one. It should be here Sunday. So great for me. Set up the man cave out in the garage. So I have been listening to more podcasts lately. I podcast, but I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because it's hard for me to find the time to do so. And I started listening to them at work a couple other people started listening to them, and I'm in the truck with them. So my wife listens to podcasts. We listened to one, and we went. Okay, let me tell you about our trip. We listened to podcasts as we went on our trip last weekend. Craig was on solo. We had a little technical difficulties last week on his mic, but I know it seems like we have a lot of technical difficulties, and sometimes it is technical, like for like computer stuff or mic problems. But sometimes I say technical difficulties and it's just life issues that pop up and that don't allow us to be here. But I digress. Now we went on a little bit of a weekend trip last week to San Angelo, Texas, and you might be asking yourself, what is in San Angelo, Texas? Because there's a whole lot of nothing, and not that it was a horrible experience. It was just we went down there to see my brother-in-law, and one of the main reason, obviously, well, the main reason is to see my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Zach and Sandy, and the other reason is we bought a Nintendo Wii. My wife wanted to buy it because my brother-in-law can hack it. Yes, he hacked ours. We got a bunch of the old school Mario games, old school 64 games, Sega, Sonic. We got so much old school games for free. He hacked it. But we were able to go down there, spend some time with them. Went to the lake, got in the cold lake. It seemed like it shouldn't be cold, but it was actually freezing. I didn't care for it too much, but we had a good time down there with them. When we drove back Sunday, it's about a 4-hour drive, 3.5, 4-hour drive down there and back. So we had a good time with them. We got back to work this week. We've talked about starting our own podcast together. We'll see if that works out or not. I don't know if we're going to stream it or not, but we might do a little podcast, and it's going to be over like spooky, scary or crazy stories we can get into, and so look forward to that. We'll see what we name it. Maybe we'll start it sometime soon. We'll see. We got that in the works we want to kind of work on. We've been watching what have we been watching? I've been rewatching Breaking Bad because it's fantastic. We watched Sonic for the first time. So we saw the previews for Sonic 2 and thought that looks pretty good. So we went back and watched the first one, and it's pretty good, guys. I ain't gonna lie, it is pretty good. I got a couple good laughs out of it. My kids liked it, and we will see the second one when it comes out on streaming. A quick little story I wanted to tell you guys real quick or talk about is so the Winning Time with the Lakers, right? If everyone's watching it on HBO, it's fantastic. Fantastic show. If you're a Laker on there, probably not. Probably not. But if you're watching it for entertainment, It is fantastic. And um, obviously, I talked about Jerry West came out and wanted a retraction from HBO because he says it's a attack on his character. He comes off as an abusive drunk, and he's just not that guy, or an angry drunk as well and stuff. So he says he's just not that guy. Now, who knows? HBO, I thought would maybe come out and say something so they don't get any legal issue trouble, but HBO doubled down on this. HBO said no. They said we we said this is a dramatization. If I could talk, dramatization. That's a hard word for me to say. Of true events. We've done our research. We got some really credible sources. Sorry about your luck. So let's see if Jerry West, he says he's willing to take this to court. We'll see if Jerry West and the Lakers decide to do something about this or not. I don't know if they will. Will they take it that far? We will see. But if you're not watching it on HBO, go watch it. It's fantastic. Do not watch it around the kids. It's not kid appropriate, but it is fantastic watch. I am about an episode and a half behind. I need to keep up with that show. It's fantastic. If you're worried about, wondering about the Lakers at that time and kind of how they got to be so famous and popular. But and Dallas Mavericks move on. Let's go Mavs. Good job, guys. They play the Suns. We'll get into that on Tuesday. The first game is Monday night. So some NBA action for you. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you like it. A little bit of first round draft breakdown for you and my personal opinions on what that looked like or how I felt about those picks. We had some teams that won. We had some teams that lost. And at the end of the day, who really knows? Because in 3 years, we might look back and go, wow, those players that were supposed to be really good were busts. And those players that were not very good turned out to be really good. So we'll see. It happens a lot. There's a lot more busts in the draft than there are superstars. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm about to go eat some dinner, enjoy my time with the wife and kids, and enjoy my weekend, guys. Hope you do the same. God bless and keep it outspoken.